Greetings, fellow human light beings. I am Maria, the founder of Human Liberation. This is a transmission called A New Paradigm Emerging. There is a grand paradigm shift happening on our planet and with humanity at this auspicious time in our history. The old, outdated systems that make up and hold many people's worldview together is crumbling and dissolving. It is simply no longer supported by universal laws, and it will bring itself down, as it is built upon separation through the tools of fear, manipulation, and control. When something is under the impression that it is separated from the whole, it will automatically fight and try to sustain itself by many expressions of power play, and therefore disrupt the natural perfect co-creation and flow that is originally present in all things and systems. The simple fact that the human is blinded by this illusion of separation will cause it to eventually fight itself. A manipulation game is by nature difficult to wake up from, as the tools that are used are very subtle, and so is the relationship between cause and effect. An often used technique is when one has a given result that one wants to achieve and then derives a climate and a number of events that must occur for this consequence to come about. A good example is norms that deliberately have been placed into society in a subtle way to create long-term effects. When these standards start to take hold, society will be like a self-policing organism. Another example is when someone, or a political party or government, wants to achieve a certain goal, and the public needs to be worked on or molded before one can go ahead with the initial plan. When the environment is made ready, the initiator can more easily justify putting actions into motion, in many cases even disguised as being a savior, when in fact all the preceding events were deliberately initiated to produce a certain outcome. These are typical manipulation games happening in all layers of our world and between individuals as a natural part of the ego structure that rules the layer of reality where a large part of humans still reside and is mainly self-serving. There is nothing wrong with the ego. It does what it is supposed to do: defend, protect, and serve the existence of the self, which is most comfortable with security and the status quo. However, in the long run, it is self-destructive. And this is especially accurate when the rules and dynamics of the game are changing. This is the case in the times we are living in now. We have pretty much tried out all possibilities in this layer of reality and stretched the free will principle to its very limits. The rules are changing because we are no longer allowed to walk the path towards self-destruction, as it creates ripple effects throughout the cosmos. There is something much bigger waiting for us. We have played out this old tune and are climbing the ladder to a new existence. Instead of fighting the old, individuals all over the world have, through answering their own inner calling, woke up from this slumber, from this game, from this layer of reality that we have played in for so long, for the exploration of the self, but now for a higher reason, for bringing humanity as a whole into higher consciousness, to explore the higher dimensions of this galaxy. Everything has been what it was supposed to be up until now. But in this moment, we are called to participate in something new. We are triggered to remember that we are all part of the same. It seems like something you've heard many times, maybe in a song lyric or in a religion class, and it may have no meaning to you, just empty words that may be a fine thing, though nothing you have ever felt, so it's difficult to resonate and take in. But the thing is, when all suddenly clicks into place inside of you, this is the one big, most important realization that you have. And it sets precedence for everything else. Everything is suddenly about you, not the outside world, because you are a part of the whole. And everything you think, feel, and essentially vibrate out, even if you never say a word, affects the whole, and vice versa. A vast, breathing, living, ever-changing consciousness, the collective consciousness. This is the time for a new self-sustainable race, to rise up to create a new reality for humanity, our new earth. With each of our individual efforts, we will bring ourselves out of the tyranny of fear, limitation, lack and control into a new paradigm, seated in fertile, pure soil. Because just as one can create a reality based on self-service, which is separation and power over others, one can create realities seated in the light, on unity consciousness, which is love and self-sustainability. Both creations and realities are equally valuable in the face of creation, or source itself. You can create something red or something yellow. They are different, and what you prefer to look at decides what you are most comfortable with. But creation does not occupy itself with this aspect, with judging what is best or most valuable. They both serve a purpose in themselves and to each other. This digression is just to mature you in the insight that it is only when the ego rules that we judge and give value to anything. And this is what causes the separation game to sustain itself. When we let go of this aspect of ourselves, we wake up to see the reality in a different way. We see with our hearts, through our hearts. The ego is ruling the lower mind and puts strict limits on the human being's ability and sense of opportunity to unfold, expand, and explore. It keeps the human being pliable in a trance-like, invisible prison, a quarantine that does not allow anything else to filter through except what is aligned with the running program. The breakdown of these old, outdated programs is what is happening on Earth at this time, and it is the main theme of 2019. By universal law, everything always happens on all levels, meaning as above, so below, as within, so without. And this is what we will see in the years to come. So, what may look like a fall to you of the old world that you are used to is not actually a fall. It is a crumbling of everything that does not serve us anymore. But instead of fighting it, know that this is part of the cycles. This has all been in the cards. This is what we planned. And instead of having huge amounts of resistance and fear, have trust and let gracefully go of all that naturally falls away from your immediate reality. Just as water flowing through the river and into all small corners and new paths on its way, so will you and we all find our way into a new existence on a much higher frequency bandwidth, where the foundation is one of peace, unity, oneness with all, nature, human beings, animals, all living creatures, living, breathing as one energy. And we will do it through raising our own energy, our own vibration. That means how much light our bodies can hold. The more you immerse yourself with the beauty and joy and love you can find, the more easily this process will flow. Embrace the changes with love and drown all feelings of fear and control into your heart space. I'm sending you much love on our collective journey towards higher consciousness, and so be it.